I'm a happy fellow. I feel very privileged, lucky that I have had a wonderful life, that I have been always allowed to do what I love. I always say that to me, my role as a designer is to do the very best I can for that woman, to make her feel her very best.
We met Oscar de la Renta in December of 1993 when we hosted the annual reception for the Kennedy Center honorees. And I had bought a dress off the rack. It happened to be one of the Oscar de la Renta dresses for sale in that way. So he and his wonderful wife, Annette, go through the receiving line, and he takes my hand and he goes, "Is that my dress?" And he said, "Oh, it's wonderful. I'm so delighted."
It was amusing to me, you know, because I've never had anybody go through a line and say, "Is that my suit?"
The book has a huge history of always photographing First Ladies, but we have never put a First Lady on the cover before Mrs. Clinton. It was actually Oscar that put it in my mind.
I've never been ever in Vogue magazine a First Lady on the cover of the magazine. And I felt that it was Hillary's time.
I had thought it, but I hadn't got there yet. He said, it should be a cover. And somehow something like that clicked in my mind. I thought, he's right.
I think that article, it helped demystify my mom. Kind of the first encounter that they would have had with her before they read the article was her looking so magnificent in Oscar's dress on the cover.
I have finally arrived. Here I am, some kid from Arkansas, and my wife's on the cover of Vogue. That's pretty cool.
Oscar has had a great history dressing First Ladies.
Fashion is non-political and non-partisan. Laura Bush is an extraordinary lady. Being with Hillary is always a very special time. To me, it's a tremendous privilege that I have been able to dress all these extraordinary ladies.
When you look at Oscar's clothes, you know it's an Oscar. And one of the things that it does is make you beautiful.
He makes a woman look like a woman, feel like a woman, feel like a princess. He has that old-fashioned elegance. He is able to interpret it in such a modern way.
Well, when you see an Oscar de la Renta dress, you do see the woman first, and the dress only complements her beauty.
Any great designer will have a point of view and a look and a very strong signature, and that's what Oscar has.
When I went to see Mrs. Clinton and we talked about the inaugural dress, I asked her, what would you like to achieve with this particular dress? And she said to me, what I would like is that when I would walk into the room, Bill would look at me and say, wow, you look great.
I still remember when Hillary walked out in that gown. I thought, oh my God, that's beautiful.
Certainly, Oscar ensured that she looked her best that day.
I still think it's probably the best gift Oscar ever gave us beyond his friendship.
I think part of Oscar's success is wrapped up in his incredible joie de vivre.
This incredibly elegant man who has so much talent.
His background coming from the Dominican Republic and the time that he spent in Spain and in Europe, I feel all that comes out in every collection.
The South American sun, the know-how from Europe, and use that fully in America.
The foundation of his work is the sense of great dressmaking, craftsmanship in making fine-tuned clothes that the customer loves.
I think most of all, you look at the girl, and then you say, oh, she's very Oscar.
I always tell the girls, smile, because I hate sad faces.
Who's your dress made by?
Oscar de la Renta.
Oscar de la Renta.
This is Oscar de la Renta.
Jennifer Gardner in this fabulous Oscar dress. What makes a difference is his bronze lace embellishment. Anne Hathaway's dress, which is a spangled floor-length column, is a dream dress.
Dressing celebrities, being worn on the red carpet, this has never been something that's important to him. If a girl wants to wear his dresses, they will come to him, and they do.
Is Oscar mischievous?
I don't think so.
Well, there's nothing bad to say about Oscar.
That's good.
The people who know him, will appreciate his sense of humor.
Sometimes.
What I love most about Oscar is his humor. And let me tell you, it can be wicked.
Probably Barbara Walters told you that.
Oscar is also an incredible singer.
To all the girls I
love to watch him sing.
And he loves to just burst out in song.
No, he sings nearly every night.
He's sharing his love of music and life and his country with his guests.
He started an orphanage in the Dominican Republic. I've been honored to visit it and see some of the children who have benefited so greatly from his generosity and just loving spirit.
You know, I started an orphanage so totally by accident. A lady came to me and asked me if I will help her, and we started with a little school, and then I fell in love with it.
They're helping, I think, about 1,500 kids now.
They light up when he arrives. I mean, it's just a magical moment.
And it's not just a home, not just a school. It's comprehensive medical care, all kinds of social support services. And Oscar's really involved. He even adopted his son, Moises, out of that house.
But I never thought that I would adopt a child. It just happened. The only one thing that I am very sure about Moses, and my only ambition for Moses, was that he will be a good-hearted man, and that he is.
For Oscar, the future is as widely defined as anyone I know kind of would conceive it.
You know, I came to New York in 1963, so I have observed on how that woman in the last 40, 50 years have crossed barriers that were unthinkable.
He just adores seeing women wearing his clothes and feeling good and looking fantastic.
I am lucky that I am part of that movement to understand the power of a woman today.
En un mundo pues que en el que no había mucha cabida para los latinos, pues fue el primero.
Pero en realidad yo no tengo una historia triste que contar.
Bueno.
Porque todo, cuando haga una entrevista, llegar a los Estados Unidos, debe haber sido bien difícil para ti. Y digo, no, yo entré por la puerta ancha. Claro, ya yo tenía una carrera que había hecho en París, que había hecho en Madrid, o sea que cuando yo llegué a New York por primera vez en el año 1963, ya entré, lo que podríamos decir, por la puerta ancha. O sea, yo siempre digo que nunca hay que empezar por abajo, hay que empezar por arriba, y si el piso de arriba no te da resultado, bajas un escalón, pero no bajes hasta abajo.
Nunca. Bueno, pero a ver, la moda latina, pues se conoce por usted, don Oscar, ¿no?
Bueno, en realidad no podríamos hablar de la moda latina.
Esa era mi próxima pregunta.
Pero sí podríamos hablar de la mujer latina. Porque yo encuentro que la mujer latina, quizás lo digo porque por razones obvias. La mujer latina es una mujer que tiene un gran sentido de la feminidad y que siempre le ha gustado vestirse y que siempre ha tenido el orgullo de ser una mujer. Nunca ha querido ser otra cosa que una mujer y verse bien y vestirse bien y sentirse bien. Y en realidad yo siempre he dicho que mi rol como creador, como diseñador, es hacer lo que yo más puedo por una mujer, para embellecerla. Yo siempre digo que lo que yo trato de hacer es hacer un traje y a lo mejor tú vas a una tienda porque te quieres comprar, no sé, una cualquier cosa y ves el traje y te enamoras de él. Si te enamoras de él, de una forma o de la otra vas a comprarlo.
Y eso no me lo diga a mí porque yo le voy a decir que sí. Ahora, cuando uno diseña, y siendo pues un personaje dentro del diseño internacional, pues universal, no diseña uno para la mujer latina, diseña uno para la mujer.
Es que, dime una cosa, ¿qué me dice en tu vestir, en lo que llevas puesto, que tú eres latina? Yo creo que si yo te conociese diciendo, esta es una latina, yo estoy, porque hoy en día la mujer tiene una proyección global. La moda es global. Oye, lo que ha pasado en una mujer en los últimos 30, 40 años, nosotros los hombres somos unos idiotas, porque el avance de la mujer en los últimos 30, 40 años es extraordinario. Y hoy en día, cuando yo empecé a trabajar, por ejemplo, en los Estados Unidos, la mujer que compraba mi ropa era una mujer que tenía que ir piso a su marido, a ver si, como mi ropa es una ropa bastante cara, pues sí podía comprarse el traje. La mujer tiene el poder adquisitivo de poderlo hacer.
No se lo tiene que pedir a nadie y ella toma sus propias decisiones.
Ella toma sus propias, y además de eso, mucho más importante, ella va a comprar un traje. Y el traje existe en rojo y existe en rosado. Y ella dice, ay, mi marido le encanta el vestido. Cuando la mujer empieza
a querer ganar estos espacios.
En lo que hasta entonces era un mundo de hombres. Pensaba que la forma de vestirse era vestirse un poco como un hombre. Es la época del
traje sastre de pantalón.
Sastre de pantalón. Pero hoy en día la mujer sabe que sentirse una mujer, vestirse como una mujer es un gran asset. Donde sea,
claro.
Donde sea, la proyección de esa mujer como individuo y de quién ella es. Yo siempre digo que para nosotros, los diseñadores, hoy en día es quizás una labor mucho más difícil, porque estamos lidiando con un consumo más conocimiento en realidad, porque hoy en día tú no compras el vestido porque dices es un vestido de la renta, tú compras el vestido
porque me gusta,
porque te gusta y porque pues, a través de ese vestido proyectas quién tú eres. Eso es lo que es importante.
Ahora, ¿son importantes las marcas? Porque yo le iba a decir, yo compro lo que me gusta.
Las rentas son súper importantes.
Yo compro lo que me gusta aunque sea barato.
Claro que
¿no?
sí. Fíjate, que te voy a hablar de una mexicana.
A ver.
Yo conocí a una mexicana, una mujer extraordinaria, no sé si hace muchísimos años, Gloria Guinness, que era de Guadalajara, y que se casó y tuvo una vida extraordinaria. Ella tenía el don extraordinario, tenía una casa en Acapulco, tenía una casa, bueno, su marido, un hombre riquísimo, y tuvo una vida extraordinaria. Ella tenía el don de comprarse.
Hi, I'm Billy Norwich, here today with New York Magazine and The Cut with Oscar de la Renta. Good morning, Oscar.
Hello, I'm Billy Norwich. One time I tried to strangle him.
Oh, I wasn't going to bring that up.
You know how it happened, no?
I remember seeing your fist come, and I remember Liz Smith blocking it. She blocked your arm and said, Oscar, you can't hit him. He's a Jew and he's wearing eyeglasses.
You see, in life, we always make mistakes. I should have not done it.
Well, I learned a lot from you. And I learned that journalists get it wrong.
What is important in human relations is that when there is the dialogue, that's the most important.
How do you sustain and generate inspiration year after year? And have you ever had a creative block? And if so, how did you get through that?
I have a creative block on a daily basis. To be a good designer, you have to keep your eyes open. You have to understand your consumer. You have to understand the woman that you are addressing. And obviously, the woman that I address today is a very different woman than the woman when I started the business.
Right.
But, you know, fashion is illusions. The project of that illusion and how good you are at projecting that illusion.
Is it fun having John Galliano in?
You know, I think that John is one of the most talented men I've ever met. It's so wonderful always to be with people who has a lot to give, you know. I believe in reinvention, and I believe that everyone should always have a second chance.
What's the most treasured item in your wardrobe?
Nothing specifically. I always wear the same tie, literally. I like to simplify my dressing. You know, I have had for the last 40 years all my clothes made in Spain, and I have the same amount of clothes that I have 20 years ago.
Really?
As a designer, I am not a minimalistic designer.
No.
But as far as I am concerned, I am very minimal with myself.
If you could be anyone in history, fact or fictional, who would it be?
Oh my goodness, I'd love to be a courtesan. You know, do you realize that courtesans were the only women allowed to have an education? You know?
That's right. You wake up in the morning to get the news. Newspaper, internet, or TV?
Newspaper, because I'm in bed. I don't look at TV ever in the morning. I look at newspapers.
Telephone calls to friends. I know you call your friends. When are the calls made?
Never in the morning. I am not really a great phone person. I only like to phone someone to tease someone, but never for any sin of substance.
What time of the day does the solitaire game go on the computer?
I don't play solitaire, I play bridge on the computer. I play bridge at night. And how it started, actually, it was because, in fact, I was looking at Charlie Rose doing an interview of Warren Buffett. And he asked Warren Buffett, how do you keep your mind alert and going? And Warren said, well, you know, I play bridge every day. I got on the internet, I bought myself a little book to learn about the rules of bridge. And I'm addicted to it. Another game which I love, which was thought to be, in fact, by President Clinton, he's an addict to it, which is called Oh Hell. President Clinton is so unbelievably good about it that he can be looking at the television, reading the book, and playing the game. And he's the one who really got me into the game, and we play all that game all the time.
Oh, it's great. Marilyn or Jackie?
Do I have to choose either one? Like Ava Gardner.
That's right, Ava Gardner.
I like brunettes, you know. So, and I saw that Eva was one of the most beautiful women I've ever met.
When you were very, very young in Madrid, you saw her. You
was
were
way up on the less expensive ticket, the bull ring, and I saw that the bullfighter came and put his cape in front of, and all of a sudden I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "That's Ava Gardner." And I left before the corrida ended to be sure that I will see Eva perhaps. And all of a sudden she was running with 3 photographers running after her. All of a sudden I find myself face to face with her. And I say, "My name is Oscar de la Renta, and I come from Santo Domingo." And she said, "Oh, how sweet." I didn't know what to say.
When you travel, what's always in your suitcase?
I always be sure that I have my credit card, I have my passport, and I have money.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I try to travel the lightest that I can because I hate packing and unpacking.
If you were off to a desert island, which I hope never happens.
I never will do that.
I was going to ask you what your essentials will be. We'll move on. When I say Balenciaga now, what do you think?
I think Balenciaga probably was one of the greatest designers of the 20th century, no question about it. I think that there are different types of designers. You know, there are survivors like me, and then there are designers who so strongly marked a period of fashion that they could never get out of it. And I think that in fashion, the most important thing is all the time to move on.
What are you doing for the rest of the day?
You know, this is the most exciting time. When I'm working on the collection, this is the most exciting time. Right now, I would say from now on till the show on the 12th is what I call panic time. But it's the agony and the ecstasy.
Oscar, thank you so much for the conversation today. It's really always good seeing you.
I hope we will continue talking all the time. You know?
God willing we will. God willing we will.
Bueno, primero que nada, muchísimas gracias por aceptar nuestra invitación. Despierta América.
Partir con una americana tan bella.
Ay, muchas gracias. Qué honor, viniendo de un hombre que solamente vive rodeado de hermosura. De verdad, es un placer. Yo quiero empezar por preguntarle a Oscar de la Renta. ¿Qué piensa de Oscar de la Renta?
¿Qué pienso de Oscar de la Renta? No sé. Yo creo que en realidad mi trayectoria como diseñador ha sido siempre una trayectoria hasta cierto punto bastante definida. Siempre he pensado que mi rol como diseñador ha sido lo mejor que pueda por una mujer. Y sobre todo cuando estamos hablando de una mujer latina que tiene un sentido tan fuerte de su feminidad.
¿Cuál ha sido ese diseño que marcó la vida de Oscar de la Renta?
¿Uno en particular? En realidad tengo una carrera, sabes que yo tengo una memoria que yo digo siempre de mosquito. Yo termino una colección y olvido inmediatamente esa colección. Estoy pensando en la próxima. O sea que mi trabajo es siempre hacia el futuro, no lo que hice en el pasado.
Empezó en los años 60, cuando creó una casa de diseño con su nombre, Oscar de la Renta, la cual se convertiría en un gigantesco imperio.
¿Cuál es la parte de la mujer que más inspira a Oscar de la Renta o más, no sé, lo inspira a resaltar, no sé?
¿Sabes que yo siempre digo que la belleza que más me intriga no es la belleza con que naces, sino la belleza que creas? Tú ves, por ejemplo, una mujer joven, muy guapa a los 20 y fea a los 40. Y una muy fea a los 20 y bellísima, porque ella tiene la inteligencia de hacerte creer que es bella.
Tú tienes algo que para mí fue maravilloso, cuando lo leí, adoptaste a Moisés.
Sí.
¿Qué significa para ti, Moisés, la adopción de un niño? Darle un futuro mejor?
En realidad no es algo que yo planeé, sino algo que surgió, que pasó. Digo que Moisés y yo nos encontramos en un momento en nuestras vidas donde los dos emocionalmente estábamos el uno del otro. Yo acabo de perder mi primera esposa pero en realidad son cosas que pasan en la vida que, como dije antes, que no planea.
¿Qué te ha dado Moisés? ¿Qué ha dejado en tu vida?
Mucha lucha a veces, pero es un buen chico, que para mí es lo más importante, un gran corazón.
Oscar de la Renta ha sabido usar el glamour de sus creaciones para hacerse de un hombre a nivel internacional. Sus modelos elegantes realzan la belleza femenina con clase. Gracias a esto ha triunfado y conseguido que sus tiendas estén presentes en muchos países del mundo.
¿Hay algo que falta por hacer? ¿Hay algún sueño por alcanzar?
Mucho. Ahora mismo estoy precisamente lanzando todos mis perfumes. Hemos reorganizado toda la compañía. Tengo ahora a mi familia trabajando dentro de la compañía, que para mí es importantísimo en el sentido de que veo ya una continuidad, aunque no me voy a parar de trabajar por mucho tiempo, pero ya veo una continuidad a la marca, que para mí es importante.
Entre sus labores más importantes está la de ayudar a fundaciones benéficas como Sur Futuro, con la cual llegó a Miami a presentar su última colección de otoño 2011 y recaudar fondos para barrios pobres de la República Dominicana.
¿Te arrepientes de algo?
Como te dije antes, tengo mala memoria, o sea que no me arrepiento de nada.
Muy buena respuesta, la mejor que he recibido. De verdad que muchas gracias por compartir con nosotros. Es un placer y mucha suerte que un día yo tenga el honor de portar un vestido de Oscar de la Renta.
Me encantaría.
Un compromiso. Gracias, de verdad.
Encantado.
Mucha suerte.
How many hours a day do you work on this collection?
A whole lifetime and 3 minutes. If you look at the board there, you will see a lot of clothes. Probably we have right now probably over 130 pieces, and probably only 60 will make it to the show, you know. It's not that every scene will be totally eliminated, because there's a lot of clothes that perhaps will be great sales that don't make it to the runway. You know, people concentration span is so limited that you have to sort of give them just a glimpse of what there is. It's a short dress to go to the market. Ima, where is Ima? We analyze the previous collections, what sold, what did not sell, what is important to a woman shape-wise, what is flattering to a woman. We are just obviously fitting a dress, which is what we do every day 1,000 times. Just fitting and making it right, you know. Every scene evolves, the length of a dress, the spirit of a dress. So many times, Eric, something that you thought it was going to really work well, it doesn't really work the way that you thought that it was going to work. What about like a purple velvet? Well, that color is hideous. No, but this is not good.
No, it's not.
Unfortunately, it just doesn't work, huh?
Do you think this dress is going to make it into the show?
I don't know yet. By Sunday we know exactly what's going to make it and what's not going to make it. Inspiration comes starting looking at fabrics. You know, winter always is a little bit obviously darker than spring might be, you know. A good show means good sales. Beautiful clothes, trying to sell the most clothes that we can, making a woman look her best. So finally we say, well, let's discard that particular fabric and we make it into a bolero. As your business get bigger, your challenges are bigger because there is demand is far much more important, and you always have to worry about the competition, and which is exciting because that's what makes you strive for doing your very best. I feel great. I feel good. I feel sober.
Ella hacía la ropa, pero así debe de ser, claro, así debe de ser.
Definitivamente.
La ropa no nos puede hacer. Ahora, ¿qué tan frívolo es esto de la ropa? ¿No? Si estamos tan importantes como históricos en la vida pues, de un país.
La moda no es frívola, es una necesidad. Claramente no podemos salir desnudos a la calle, ¿no? Definitivamente pues, para mí. En realidad, la moda, pero al final la moda es un espejo no tan solo de la época en que vivimos.
Sí, sin duda.
O sea, cuando conocer cualquier época de historia, lo que aprendemos es cómo iba la gente vestida y ya empezamos a cómo fue esa época.
Ahora, usted lleva muchos años en esto. ¿Se vuelve más fácil todo el proceso creativo? ¿O es más complicado debido a que pues, somos más?
No me pregunte cuántos años tengo. Pues,
¿La duda? No. Quítatelo.
Exacto. Muchos, todos. Hoy en día hay diseñadores y muchos talentos, pero nunca en mi vida he vendido tanta ropa como vendo ahora. Hoy en día, por la buena suerte de que La feminidad en la mujer es un asset importantísimo. Yo lo que hago, cuando yo hago un traje, ¿cómo yo puedo? Yo amo a la mujer. Y entonces mi labor es cómo yo puedo hacer, embellecerla lo mejor que pueda.
Ahora, ¿cómo sabe lo que nos gusta, lo que nos da mejor? ¿Cuánto nos conoce?
Tú sabes que para ser un buen diseñador tienes que tener los ojos bien abiertos.
Eso también es cierto. Son de mujer, ¿no?
La verdad de mis colecciones de tener algo para, o sea, lentes y que una mujer pueda expresarse. O sea, hay una gran variedad en mi diseño para dar una imagen mucho más ancha, ¿no?
Ahora, esto es un negocio ¿no? Pero ¿qué ha pasado? No, yo sí creo que lo que ven decir bolsas Chanel carísimas o bolsas Oscar de la... ¿Qué pasa? Oscar, que las mujeres con bolsas carísimas o zapatos carísimos, ¿o sí?
Yo creo que, ¿sabe lo que es? Cómo yo me puedo reinventar todo. Yo tengo una memoria de mosquito. Entonces, me pasa muchísimas veces que me encuentro con una señora y me dice, ay, anoche yo traje, y me empieza a describir traje. No tengo la menor idea de lo que... Sí, yo tengo una memoria visual. Yo he diseñado tantos y tantos trajes que no me puedo recordar. Encuentro que lo importante para mí es el presente inmediato. Y eso es lo que hay que pensar. Y hasta cierto tiempo, aunque sea una colección, en 12 minutos colección y dices, you have down, you know, and then you start a new one. Y empiezas a la energía, la adrenalina.
Sí, debe ser un poco anticlimático porque se acaba la pasarela, el desfile ya se acabó y ya vamos a pensar en lo que viene.
Te voy a dar algo que te va a hacer reír. Cuando yo antes cuando yo empezaba a hacer ropa, si yo hacía 100 trajes, yo enseñaba 6. Hoy nosotros, como ya tengo un poquito de habilidades, nosotros hacemos 300, 400 trajes. Entonces viene el momento en que tenemos que elegir exactamente cuáles vestidos van a ir en la pasarela, que en vez van a ir, vamos a enseñar. Para mí es una tortura inmensa. Te voy a decir por qué.
Elegirlos.
Porque eso no es mi trabajo solo, trabajo de conjunto. Obedezco la opinión de mis asistentes y de que trabajan conmigo. Me muero de pena, Tito no puede estar en la colección. Yo creo que me da pena por el vestido. Pobre, no lo me suele enseñar. No, porque ha estado envuelto en manipularlo y hacerlo. Yo trabajo un poco muy a la antigua, en el sentido de que yo comencé mi carrera en Valenciaga y ponía una manga y la quitaba y la ponía otra vez. Yo trabajo, todo vestido que yo hago lo he probado yo, porque un diseño...
Oscar de la Renta is the Cary Grant of American fashion. Born in the Dominican Republic, he is loaded with charm and irresistible to women. Trained in Spain and Paris, then moved to New York in 1963, where his first job was with Elizabeth Arden. Ever since, he's been a firm favorite of fashionable women worldwide. And his clothes make it clear why. He quite simply makes women look and feel fabulous.
I always keep saying that the 21st century is the century of the woman, you know, and they never stop surprising me. I think that it's very exciting to be creating fashion today, because never in the history of time there had been a woman as in control of her destiny as a woman today. That certainly makes our work as designers far much more challenging, but at the same time far much more exciting. We are dealing with a consumer who knows exactly what she wants. And I think that today a woman knows that even in her work, in the workplace, power of her femininity is important. And so this is the woman that I dress today is a woman who's proud, who feels great about being a woman, that feels that using the power of femininity is a tremendous asset. I started dressing all the great ladies of New York, like the great beauties like Mrs. Paley and Mrs. Lowell Guinness, and then I started as well dressing a lot of movie actresses like Raquel Welch, and first ladies like Mrs. Ford was the very first lady of the United States that ever wore my clothes, and I have dressed them all. The same process starts today, as always, in many, many different ways. Obviously, fabrics is a great inspiration, it's a source of inspiration, because you need fabric to be able to make a dress. And it's the longest because we started the process by looking at a lot of different mills, different fabrics, different manufacturers, and start to choose, and since then we start working on the sketches with those particular fabrics in mind. But most importantly, I still today fit every single dress that we make, because if you have a sketch and you make 10 copies of that sketch and you give it to 10 different people to execute that idea, every one of them is going to come with 10 different dresses. It only becomes your own once you fit it yourself and you start manipulating it so that you will give to it the proportions that you originally envisioned. And so there is no rules, no regulations, no frontiers that woman cannot reach or surmount. And today there are whole new avenues that are exciting, and for that woman who buys through the internet, net-a-porter, who buys going into a store, there are so many ways for us to try to seduce a woman to come and buy, and to facilitate as well for a woman to do her shopping, because women today have very busy lives. For a woman to feel fabulous today is to, first of all, have an accomplished life, great about herself. I think that today is really a professional woman, a woman who has a full life in the sense of everything is at her disposal, and she's taking everything and enjoying everything. And that is what makes it really exciting.